Hello, this is Isis,
And Nicole,
and welcome to our show, Tea Talks,
where we talk about anything we want.
over cups of tea. And today we're going to talk about Restore Me by Tahereh Mafi, which is the fourth book in the Shatter Me series. And we have read the sneak peek, which is only 31 pages long, but there is a lot to talk about. We are going to talk about our drinks today. I am drinking a chai tea latte from Starbucks, and we are not sponsored. But we should be.
And I'm drinking a double chocolate chip frappuccino, which isn't tea, but oh well.
So you're cheating because this is tea talks, not frappuccino talks. But
Go get it.
so what's the first thing you want to discuss about Restore Me? Warner?
Because in this one, he's actually gonna have a perspective, which people generally think means that he's gonna die. But I don't think so. I think when she reread the whole series and realized she was gonna write 3 more books, she realized that Juliet really sucks as a narrator. And if we want to learn anything about the world and have anything really interesting going on besides love drama, she needed to add Warner.
I just want to say that I'm really happy that the series is going to continue after Ignite Me, because that ending was awful. I did not buy for a second that Juliet could rule a friggin' nation as a 17-year-old girl. And I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a hater of 17-year-old girls. But she's just really into her love triangle drama, and I don't think she knows anything at all about the world that she lives in, which makes me really concerned for all the citizens that have to deal with her as a leader.
Well, this snippet proves it, because she's like, I dropped out of school. She doesn't know anything about the sectors. She doesn't know anything about anything, really. Castle still is like leading her along by the hand. Warner's doing most of the work. She's like not done anything, and she's still like is really obsessed with herself. Like, she just worries about Warner, which is nice. But whenever she met Adam, she was like, why are you looking at me? We're not together anymore. And he wasn't even thinking about her. He was like asking about Warner.
Because Adam and Warner are gonna bond over their dad being dead, and even though he was a horrible father, it's still their father, so they still have to mourn him, and it just makes me so happy that they're gonna do it together, and they're gonna bond and maybe become friends, and maybe James will be added to their friendship actual bromance, because they're bros. And I'm really excited to see how Warner and Adam and James all bond, even though it's over a really sad thing. But I like all of that, and I'm really glad to see Kenji is back, and he's being awesome, but Juliet is just not being awesome. I hate her. I don't hate her, but honestly, she's so annoying.
She is. She just doesn't know anything. She doesn't do anything unless someone's like forcing her to, and like she does nothing by herself.
I feel like she just does not care about the people that live
No, because
in North America.
Look, Kenji is like, oh, we found cows, and he was really excited because like you can feed people with cows, and she's just like, oh, how exciting. And see, like, look, the Supreme Commander should be like, oh my god, like my people aren't gonna starve. She's just like, oh, we live here in the base now, so we're having a good breakfast. But she's like already forgetting that everyone else who doesn't live on the base, all the civilians, do not have that breakfast. Like, she's not doing anything for them. She's just like going on walks with Kenji.
That's all she's doing. And Warner and Kenji and Castle are working their butts off to try to bring people back to a normal kind of lifestyle. But she's not doing anything. She doesn't even know the geography of the world she lives in. It's really sad. And I'm just concerned for all these people. I feel like everyone has to step up because she's not doing anything. And she's supposed to be the leader. But who lets a 17-year-old be the leader of an entire nation?
Exactly. She didn't go back to she just took over with them not having a say. She intimidated them into giving in to her on the last book. So I think she's a lot like Anderson, honestly. And I think, okay, so the first person to RSVP to her summons of she's the ruler or whatever was Oceana, and it was really informal how they responded. And I was thinking of this ever since I saw Mafi answering questions on Twitter whenever she said that her parents are gonna be involved
Julia's
in the
parents?
books. Yeah, Julia's parents.
Gosh.
And I was thinking, because I was I wonder how, and she's never not going off base or anything, and I was wondering if those are them, if they are leaders, and at this conference she's gonna see her parents, and that's why it was so informal.
And that's why they said, we can't wait to see you instead of meet you.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And I think that's the ultimate drama, so that's how I would put it in, because we already know they're not good people, and Warner's nobody else is good people, though. That makes me wonder why can't they be like Warner, because Warner on the outside wasn't a good person, so why can't the other kids of the other supreme commanders or whatever they are be good people on the inside?
I don't think Warner considers himself a good person. That's why
I guess.
That's why he's not suggesting it, because he thinks he's a bad person. And he is okay with that. And I just want to say that Juliet and Warner are having a lot of troubles in their relationship. And I don't really care, but I hope Warner finds some happiness, because I love him. And even if he has to leave Juliet, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, because if you think about it, Juliet has had her time to grow into a relationship and herself as a person. But Warner, Juliet's basically Warner's Adam. So,
man.
He's just, obsessed with her, and he's not growing or anything. So, I wonder, because, books always have them breaking up for drama, but now I'm wondering if they will, and if they will, if he'll move on like she did with Adam and Warner, and if it'll be kind of the same thing. My hope is that he gets with Kenji, because I think Kenji's bi or pansexual, and they could be the true power couple because they're both competent and hardworking, and I think they do better each other. So that's my hope. I don't think it'll ever happen, but it would be awesome if it did.
It would be nice to see Warner and Kenji together, but I feel like Kenji would not do that to Juliet, even if they broke up amicably. Juliet would be like, that's too weird for you to date my ex-boyfriend. And Kenji would be like, I know. And he'll sadly back away, even though, really deep down they want to be together.
And he'll be really angsty, but then he gets fed up with her crap all the time. And then he's like, look, Juliet, you're being selfish and rude. I'm going to do this and you're going to be happy for me. And then she's like, you're right, I'm selfish and rude. I'll try not to be anymore. You can do this. And then she'll go home, open her room about it. And they'll be happy. And it'll be fine. And she'll find someone else who she can touch this time.
She can touch everyone.
Well, see, look, she can touch everyone now, so she doesn't even have to be with him anymore. See, I think that's gonna be a thing.
I really think he's not really happy with her anymore. Like, you can tell. You can tell that it bothers him that she killed his dad just in cold blood. And you can tell that it bothers him that she is this person that he thought she wasn't.
Maybe. Because wouldn't it, like, he's trying to be all nice for her, but she's not that nice. So, isn't he gonna figure that out? Like, I feel like he will, like, as soon as, like, whenever they had hostages. And she's like, oh, it's so sad because they have scars on their face now. But, like, she wasn't thinking about them at all when they were hostages. She just cared about herself. And I feel like that's easily gonna be another thing in these 3 books.
Oh my gosh.
And he's not gonna like that. Like,
the real plot twist will be that Juliet will become the villain of the story, and everyone else will have to try to stop her from abusing her power.
maybe, but I don't know. I think he's the best choice for a leader. And maybe they'll realize that. But I don't know. I don't think she can treat Juliet that bad because Juliet's being lifted as this like feminist icon who's so well developed and so pure. Like everyone in the story still thinks she's so pure and innocent and good. So I don't think any of that's actually gonna happen. Anyway, I was looking at this cover and I noticed, like, I knew there was a bird in the IMO, but like there's little birds all around it. And since they already found cows, I'm wondering if they're gonna see the bird.
They probably will, because I think she brought it up in the first book and they never showed a bird. The only bird she saw was the one that Adam had tattooed.
Yeah, so and that's important to her for some reason. But I guess it's important for the world too, because they're gonna find that the world isn't as destroyed as they were made to believe, obviously, if they have all this source of food and like the soldiers have all these vegetables and stuff and they have to come from somewhere, so I'm sure like not everything's as destroyed as they were made to believe.
I guess the world is not at all like explained. There's no world building in those 3 books, which were supposed to be like a trilogy in themselves. So there's nothing to really give you any clues as to how the world is functioning, and that makes me really excited, I guess, just to see what if like we finally get some answers, because I don't even know how people got their powers. Like maybe it was briefly explained, but I didn't understand anything, and I just don't understand that world. I was only in it because of Warner.
Well, I hope in these 3 books, like, she could really do anything she wants with the world since she hasn't explained anything, so it could be really interesting, or she could just like focus on relationships again.
I don't think we need to see more relationships, especially if it's the same story repeated.
I don't know, because people fall into that trap all the time.
Well, the little sneak peek that was just the first 31 pages, it didn't really focus so much on the romance. I think it actually try to focus more on the plot. And I never care about the plot of books, but I really care about the plot of this book because I'm so interested in that world.
But in the sneak peek, Warner is mourning his dad, and he's not opening up to Juliet. So there's like a little
up to Adam.
Yeah, but so, and then she's still weird with Adam, so there's potential there for drama.
You think she'll
Especially
be jealous
since-
of Warner spending time with Adam instead of her? I feel like she would be the kind of person to say that. Like,
Yeah, because
why are you spending more time with me? Like, you shouldn't be with your brother.
Yeah, because he was asking where Warner was and why doesn't he have breakfast with anyone because he wanted to talk to him. And she was like, why is he over here? He's just staring at me. Doesn't he know this is weird? Why does he make this so weird? And like, she's still just obsessed with herself. So I don't think she would ever, like, it would need to be spelled out that they are brothers. And they still have this connection, even though, like, it should be obvious.
She does not understand that, siblings need to spend some time together. She's just like, oh, they're just there. Because I think she still sees them as the two guys she has stated, and that's it. But they don't see each other like that anymore. I think they went past that, and now they're like, you're my brother, and we can talk about things that only you would understand because they both lived their abusive father. And she doesn't get it. She didn't have her parents, even though they were bad people too, but like, she doesn't get it. She doesn't understand.
I hope Warner and Adam both read Anderson's journals together, and I really wonder what they're gonna reveal.
I feel like secretly their dad actually cared about them, but I really don't think so. Like, that's my wish. I'd be like, if they find something and it's like, I really do love my sons, but I have to be this monster to keep up appearances. But really, like, I'm just reaching because, like, I don't think he was a good person.
Yeah, that's a really big
But deep down, I wanted to see
think
that.
I don't think so. I think the most they would get out of it is how he loved Adam and
His mom.
James's mom. And not Warner's mom. Or maybe he won't mention them at all, and it's all about, like, having control and power and stuff. And how he's, like, really proud of himself for
I feel like
doing that.
they're all gonna still feel resentment towards Juliet for killing their dad, even though he was a bad person. Like, you can't just forget that. But that just brings me to a whole nother story that I don't want to mention of, like, when somebody kills one of your family members and you're still like, oh, well, I'm still gonna date you. But the awkwardness is always gonna be there. So, I don't know. I just know that there's gonna be a lot of drama between Juliet, Warner, and Adam all over again in some shape, way, or form. I don't know. Like, something's gonna happen between them, and I'm gonna be really intrigued by it no matter what, because I'm very easy to please, especially with this series. I'll eat up all the drama.
I think everyone's easily pleased with this story. But I don't know. I just hope it's not another 3 books of, like, Kenji and Castle and Adam yelling at her for being selfish, and she realizing, wow, I've been really just caught up in myself. I really need to do this. And, like, like, maybe in the 16 days she could have learned about the history of the world and everything, but she chose to just, like, go on walks with Kenji and eat breakfast and everything and just wait. But, like, she didn't do any of that, so I'm not really hopeful, but, like, it would be cool if she could just
This kind of
do things on her own and think.
This kind of makes me think of Mockingjay when they use Katniss as just like the image of the rebellion, but really everybody else is working behind the scenes and she's just there to film the videos. Like that's, I feel like that's what they're doing with Juliet without her knowing. Like they're just using her because she's like strong, and they're like, yeah, so she can be intimidating, and they're putting her there, but they're not really keeping her in with everything they're doing. And maybe they think it's for the better that they don't involve her in that, because they're like, she wouldn't be able to help out at all with what we're trying to do. And so maybe they're like trying to form plans to keep each other alive, but telling her, oh yeah, you're the leader, but really she's just there for the image.
That would only work if they acknowledge it. Specifically Warner, because Warner would show us that. But I just find it unlikely. I don't think they'll go there.
I feel like that's the role she's playing.
It is. It makes sense, but I don't think it's intentional. That's the thing. It's not intentional because everyone says that she's so beautiful and hopeful and pure and strong and everything. They just tell her that all the time, and they don't give any reason to think that they're just saying that to her is like that's really her character. Like that's what everyone believes. All the other characters tell us so to make it so. So I don't think that's intentional at all.
Well, that was my least favorite part about Ignite Me, just that she became the supreme commander or whatever. Because when I was 17, the least of my concerns was like everybody else. Like, you think I'm selfish now, but I was way more selfish at 17.
Yeah.
Like, I really did not care at all about anybody. Like,
and Juliet's the same. She's like the most selfish person in here. Even Warner's less selfish. So, I don't know. Maybe she'll get better. Because Castle was saying that she was going to teach her about the reestablishment. Maybe she'll actually listen for once and actually want to learn.
I feel like she would just complain the whole time. Like, why do I have to spend time
Like
learning this? Like, I know everything I need to know.
Like
I'm
in the
strong.
last book.
Yes. When Warner tried to, like, teach her, like, train her to fight, and she's like, I'm strong. I don't need to fight. He's like, you have no skills.
But she doesn't learn. She wasn't learning about the world or the government or anything. In the past, like 2 weeks have passed since the last book and this one, and in the sample she's done nothing. Like she's just being told, and she's not learning on her own. Like she has no self-motivation for it.
That just makes me think that it's all intentional, because everybody's like just not, because I feel like somebody would have taken the time to teach her what she needs to know, especially like Castle. But
I mean, he is now, but maybe it is intentional. Maybe she's not gonna stay Supreme Commander.
I hope not.
And it makes sense.
But I don't want Warner to be Supreme Commander either. I feel like he needs to rest, because that's been his life, and how would it look for his dad to be killed and then he steps up and then they just expect more of the same, or maybe he just
that's why all the other countries aren't gonna act without first talking to him. That's what they said, so
I wonder if he's gonna have to pretend to be evil. But what are they doing? Are they like pretending to be the same or to be different? I don't know. This world, it's weird.
We don't know anything about the world. That's the problem. But that's also why we needed Warner's perspective, because like he has so much that Juliet doesn't. So I really don't think, maybe they're not gonna be separated like everyone thinks, or killed off.
I honestly don't care if Juliet and Warner are separated because I don't think he's happy. And I just want him to be happy. Also, he ate a cookie with a fork and a knife, and that was really cute. He's literally Prince Robot 4 from Saga in every way. He's so beautiful, and
You
I
just
love
have a type of character that you like. That's it.
He's so beautiful. Like, he's too precious for this world, and Julia doesn't see that. She just sees a really hot dude. She doesn't appreciate him the way that I appreciate him. I'm just saying. I don't know. I used to root for them in Ignite Me because I thought that was what Warner needed. But now that I read this, I'm not so sure anymore because she is still being selfish. And I thought she had changed, but she didn't change. At least in the first few pages. Maybe later there will still be character development. I mean, I guess you have to leave room for character development because there's still 3 more books, so you can't just make her show her being like this really great person and then that never changes.
She changes how she does her character development at least, because in the first 3 books it was the very same. Like, someone would yell at her about what she's doing wrong and she's like, oh, you're right. She continues to make mistakes. They yell at her. Like, I hope she can do her own character development this time. Like, that would be really cool. Honestly.
I don't know if she's that self-aware, but hopefully.
She could be, potentially.
I don't know. I don't know if I have any hopes for Juliet, but I have a lot of hopes for Warner and Kenji and James and Adam. And I really want to know what Kenji's Unrequited Love storyline will be, because I really think he has a lot of potential. And his character was just being Juliet's friend who yells at her and who supports her.
Yeah, see, she's answered on Twitter that there's gonna be more characters of more, like, backgrounds and everything. And at the end, like, some of the other commanders' children were coming to visit. So that's easily explained, like, those are the people she's talking about. So why can't they be, like, nice, and maybe they are the people that he falls in love with.
A lot of them at the same time.
Well, he could.
He could be polyamorous. I don't know, maybe. And I also want to see some girls, more girls, because I feel like the only female character in the books is Juliet, and it's not very good.
Yeah.
That she has no friends who are girls. The girls, the healers, those don't count because I don't even remember their names.
No, because they just call them the girls. There's Aaliyah. Is that her name? So?
I don't know.
I think she's going to be with Adam in these 3 books.
I heard that Adam wasn't going to have a love interest.
Maybe not in this one, but in the others. I really think so. She was leading up to that, at least.
Well, I really like Adam bonding with Warner. I think that's the best thing that we can hope for in this book.
People have been talking about an Adam redemption arc, but really, I don't think he needs redemption.
He was a jerk.
He was a jerk to Juliet, but she was a jerk to him too.
She was.
Like, he said some awful stuff, but
she didn't want him to go when he and James were starving because of her whole relationship thing with him.
yeah.
She put that first before they, like before their lives.
So, I don't think he necessarily needs a redemption arc. I think he's fine. I mean, they could apologize and everything, but she's still weird about it to him. And I don't think he's that weird about it. Like, I think he's moved on. And she doesn't realize that personally.
She thinks the world revolves around her. That's why she doesn't care about all the people that she has to protect now that she's leader. She does not care. I feel like Warner care even more. And I keep defending the guys, but there's no other girls to talk about. But look, Warner went to the sectors, or like, no, not the sectors, what were those called? Like the little houses. And
his section.
Yeah, in his sector. And he went and he talked to the people. He, like, got to know them. He knew all their names. Like, he was really familiar with them because he genuinely cared about their well-being. And I don't think they've ever shown her doing that. Like,
she hasn't even asked after them. Like, she didn't once mention it in the 2 chapters she had in the sample. And Warner's still working. She hasn't done anything, honestly. Like everyone else has, but it still sucks because we're just dragging on the only girl. So it makes it look bad, but she's the only one there. And
there are no other female characters that are, like, important at all, and it makes me really sad because I mean, I really want to like Juliet, but she has so many flaws, and I don't know, like, I just wish she realized that being a Supreme Commander is more than just going on walks with her friend. I'm being so judgmental, but I don't know. Juliet is too much sometimes. I know, like,
I still root for her though. I root for her
I know,
to be
I don't
better.
want her to be.
But I don't want to say she's good enough now. I don't excuse her actions.
I know.
Like,
but see, I think sometimes that Kenji, who is really likable, is being used as, like, I don't know if this is the right term, but was that foil? Like, a character that they use that's really likable who likes another character who's not so likable, and then you're like, hey, if he likes her, then she must be a good person. But I know foil is, like, the one where, like...
That's the opposite.
Yeah. They use someone that's worse to show that the other person is good.
I don't know the exact term, but that's true because it was during her talks whenever he really got close to her that I started liking her more in the other books because he's so nice and everything, and then he believes in her. Everyone believes in her, honestly, but it shouldn't take everyone else believing in her for the reader to believe in her. But I think we're in the minority here, honestly, with our opinions on Julia.
I honestly wonder why Kenji likes her so much. But, I mean, that's what makes me like her, too. I'm like, well, because he's such a good person and he's a good judge of character. So, obviously, there must be something really great about her that we're just not seeing. So, we have to stick around and see what it is. And I feel the same with Warner, too, except now that he's not super obsessed with her, it makes me think that maybe we were all fooled this whole time. I really would like to see her turn into this power-hungry villain that everybody has to stop. and just
that would
see
be
how that
interesting.
goes.
But I don't think it'll happen. I don't think so.
Maybe.
I think where Stormy is talking more about Warner.
Warner being restored.
Yeah, since he's the broken one right now.
I don't think Juliet realizes he's broken either.
He doesn't, because I was so surprised in his point of view. He was talking about how much weight he lost and how he's like exhausted, and she
never mentioned
none of
that.
So
didn't she mention that Adam looked like that, but not Warner?
She mentioned Adam looking like shit, but not Warner. She's just like, you're beautiful, and that makes me really wonder about her.
I know, she is so biased, and I don't like her.
So she would notice that. She would notice that. It's not like she's a character who wouldn't point that out. She would point that out, but she didn't.
maybe she's trying to save herself that, like, thought and conversation with herself of being like, wait, did I do something wrong? Like, why? Like, I feel you know how, like, it looked like he was about to kiss her and then he didn't, and I feel like she took it to, like, really personal. She was really offended by that. But, like, I feel like she doesn't give him the space that he needs. I'm just saying, he is going through so much, and I don't think she ever asks, like, specifically about that. Maybe he's just avoiding it, but there's clearly something wrong there, and she's just looking the other way and pretending it's okay. And
maybe because there was the part where she's like sleeping and she's like, I miss you, and he's like, I'm right here, but she shakes her head, and then Warner is wondering if she's not wrong, so maybe she's keeping it inside, but that's so unlike Juliet.
yeah, maybe she's changing.
In that one part, that
that
doesn't
one
make any
part.
sense.
I don't know. Juliet is really complicated. But I'm just excited for Warner and Adam and James bonding. They all need to bond.
I think that's that's the part I'm looking forward to most, because James was always the highlight of the books for me, and I really want them to get closer.
James and Warner are the best. I really want them to have some more conversations. They're so cute. But I bet, imagine the scenario if, like, Warner breaks up with Juliet. Juliet is gonna be like, well, you can't live here anymore, because, like, even though that's where he grew up, she's gonna, like, kick him out. Like, our relationship is gonna get in the way. Like, you need to move out. Like, I feel like she would go to that extent. Like, she would just be like, you need to go. And he'll be like, where do I go? But he wouldn't say that because he's a gentleman. But she doesn't know how to separate those things.
No. But I think all the other people will make Warner a better person instead of Juliet. Like, that sounds meaner than I mean it, but I think they'll be able to pull other things out of him, and he'll realize he wants friendships and not just Juliet, and I think that'll really change him.
Yeah.
And it'll be really cool to see.
I know. I'm excited. And the book comes out in March 6th. So we have to read it as soon as it comes out.
It's only 2 months. That's not a long wait at all compared to other books coming out.
I know. I'm not going to read anything until that comes out. That can be my excuse.
No.
I'm not reading until that book comes out because that's all I want to read.
You're gonna read that Love is